Amphorius is described as an eternal land hidden from outside observation, only visible through the Garden of Recollection's mirror. The crew discusses travel plans and fuel concerns, realizing they will need to stay in Penacony longer than expected. Local gossip circulates about recent chaos being a means of maintaining social stability. Various conspiracy theories emerge about IPC involvement and the Oak family troubles. The former Oak family head disappeared after being blamed for the Charmony Festival's cancellation. Dreamweavers conduct route inspections around Penacony, claiming its routine security despite the Stellaron situation. The family assures citizens their sweet dreams will be protected, though some remain skeptical about ever dreaming peacefully again. A fugitive and companion navigate through Penacony, avoiding bloodhound patrols. The fugitive, formerly important in Penacony, relies on their only remaining ally while dealing with guilt over past actions and inability to face certain individuals. The story reveals a complex arrangement with the IPC involving freedom in exchange for future payment. The fugitive uses this temporary freedom to attempt making amends and addressing lingering Oak family influence in Penacony before departing permanently. A discussion begins about prohibited behaviors and their consequences in what appears to be a park setting. The situation seems mysterious, with mentions of corrective measures that will be taken if rules are violated. Two people decide to investigate the area themselves, taking some notes along as reference. Background information reveals that one person previously managed this park during their childhood under Mr. Gopher Wood's guidance. They were given authority to enforce rules within a designated domain. While their initial management attempt was messy, tourists viewed it as mere entertainment. This experience served as a learning opportunity about rule enforcement. The investigation reveals some peculiar rules, including one that only allows burger consumption and specifically prohibits ice cream. This rule was apparently created to teach orderly line waiting. When someone deliberately breaks this rule to test the consequences, mysterious corrective measures occur. Another rule restricting stage access to only cast and crew members is tested. When violated, automatic corrective measures redirect rule breakers back to the proper path. This demonstrates how the park system automatically enforces its regulations without human intervention. A plan is formed to fix the distortions in Ideen Park. The strategy involves deliberately breaking rules to trigger corrective measures, which will help trace the source of distortions. Once manifested, these distortions can be healed using tuning power. More bizarre rules are discovered, including paradoxical instructions about trash disposal and restrictions on using Soulblad bottle caps. Testing these rules triggers more unusual phenomena, including encounters with a woodcutter's trash can and strange capsule machine events. The source of distortions is finally located and addressed using a special incantation about creatures with eyes having souls of equal worth. This successfully resolves one of the park's anomalies, leading to reflections on past experiences and failures. The scene shifts to planning a journey to OT Mall, but warnings about anomalies in that area prompt consideration of an alternate route. A mysterious encounter with a passerby adds tension to the situation. The story culminates in a confrontation where explanations are demanded in short sentences to prevent dangerous incantations. It reveals connections to the IPC and arrangements allowing freedom of movement in Penacony, with supervision required until a final departure. The narrative continues with discussions about the Astral Express crew remaining in Penacony for an unusual passenger situation. This leads to an urgent problem being announced, highlighting how unpredictable variables impact organic life forms. The initial discussion centers around declining an invitation to the Harmony celebration, noting that while following logic has its benefits, it also means missing out on exciting adventures. There is mention of a collaboration between the Astral Express and the Garden of Recollection, with curiosity about potential hidden meanings behind this partnership. The society has lost many members to the Lord of Silence, with limited internal communication. A character named Amphorius is mentioned as being unknown. The conversation shifts to discussing a foxy girl who has experienced dramatic events, with the Astral Express volunteering to help her return home. The story involves an incident with Miss Ting Yun, where they encountered a Pepeschy filming a Try Not to Laugh challenge. After consuming some special candy meant to induce laughter, Miss Ting Yun had an unusual reaction. She began sneezing repeatedly and mysteriously multiplied into several versions of herself. The multiplication phenomenon is explained as occurring due to the dreamscape being a memoria world. The candy triggered Ting Yun's hypersensitive mind, causing memory fragments to become separate entities. This is apparently a common occurrence in the sweet dream realm. Multiple versions of Ting Yun emerge, each with distinct personalities. One version proposes creating the Continued Merchant Guild, seeking to collaborate with March 7th for outside world negotiations. The situation becomes increasingly complex as each Ting Yun version displays different aspects of her personality. A solution involving tuning is proposed to resolve the multiple Ting Yun situation. One weak, who has mastery of harmony, is suggested to perform the procedure. The process begins with careful consideration for Ting Yun's safety and consent. The narrative shifts to a more introspective journey, where Ting Yun encounters mysterious voices and familiar scenes. Questions about identity and origin arise as she navigates through this experience. The journey reveals wounds of destruction that have taken root in Ting Yun's body. Rather than fighting these manifestations, she is advised to embrace and coexist with them, viewing them as personal scars. The path forward involves accepting these aspects rather than trying to eliminate them. A critical choice is presented to Ting Yun. Either surrender to darkness alongside the scars of destruction or return to the world while carrying these scars with her. Her current state is described as being similar to, but not quite, a wandering spirit. A fascinating conversation unfolds about existing between life and death in a limbo state. The wounds that cause death would remain forever unhealed on the body, creating a permanent reminder of the experience. This sets up an intriguing situation where survival comes with lasting consequences. The situation becomes clearer. There was an attack by Lord Ravager that should have been fatal. Someone intervened to save the victim, making them simultaneously the most unfortunate due to the brutal attack, yet most fortunate because the attacker's desire for total possession created enough time for intervention. The body has undergone major changes, particularly to the tail, requiring adaptation. The pain is currently blocked, but would be excruciating if felt. These modifications were necessary for survival, though they come with the heavy price of permanent changes and ongoing challenges. The story shifts to reveal more about Ting Yun, originally from Xianzhou, who survived a devastating encounter with a Lord Ravager. A genius in life sciences stepped in to save them, and arrangements were made for transport home, with a stop in Penacony for recovery. The narrative moves to a lighter scene of souvenir shopping. Ting Yun, despite their ordeal, is choosing thoughtful gifts for friends back home. Their companions help select appropriate items, showing how life continues even after traumatic events. Ting Yun reflects on their role as a merchant and the importance of staying informed. They express mixed feelings of regret about missing certain events, but relief about current circumstances. The experience has given them a new perspective on bonds and relationships. The conversation concludes with Ting Yun declaring their intention to reclaim what was lost, starting with proper acknowledgement of their benefactors. They show determination to move forward and use these experiences as a source of courage for future endeavors. The discussion wraps up as the participants prepare to continue their journey. The setting transitions to a dreamscape sales story featuring Dr. Edward, who offers various dream experiences for sale. A dream about a young sword master in Shinjoa Lights is mentioned, but declined in favor of something unrelated to the alliance. A touching exchange occurs, where dream bubbles are exchanged as gifts. The atmosphere becomes emotional as the time approaches for a significant departure, with characters expressing reluctance to say goodbye. The scene hints at deep bonds between the participants and the weight of the impending farewell. Madame Yukon makes an unexpected appearance to escort Ting Yun home. Their reunion is emotional, with Madame Yukon expressing personal interest in being the one to retrieve Ting Yun. They discuss Ting Yun's physical condition and the challenges ahead, maintaining an optimistic yet realistic outlook about the future. The conversation takes a serious turn as Ting Yun questions returning to Lafu. They discuss complex political implications, including Fontilia's actions and their role as a potential pawn. Ting Yun suggests using their condition with the marks of ruin to help the alliance against their enemies. A fascinating revelation occurs about Ting Yun being fragmented into multiple versions of themselves, each representing different aspects of their memories. They share a meaningful memory about their first flight experience with Madame Yukon, highlighting how it shaped their love for exploration and travel. The discussion deepens into philosophical territory about survival, fate, and the role of humans in conflicts with gods. Ting Yun expresses determination to transform from a pawn into an active player, planning to challenge those pulling the strings from behind the scenes. The scene shifts to an interaction with Miss Robin. The conversation becomes metaphorical, comparing dreamscapes to reality and discussing how starlight we see is actually from the past. They contemplate the nature of perception and reality while preparing for a farewell performance. The dialogue concludes with reflections on unfamiliar stars, the aftermath of the Stellaron disaster, and its impact on Penacony. The characters discuss failure, resilience, and the power of encouragement, ending with hopes for future success despite inexperience. A fortunate discovery was made, likely left behind by a dreamweaver. This profession commonly leaves such blessings to establish dreamscapes. A second mysterious piece was found, resembling either wings or feather decorations. The search continued for more clues in this mystical space. A significant task was completed, leading to reflection on unfamiliar stars. These unknown celestial bodies would become the future meeting place, though they were currently unrecognizable. This moment carried deep meaning about future reunions and connections across vast distances. The farewell, while not perfect, was deemed sufficient. There was concern about two notes being left behind as potential evidence. A discussion arose about living without regrets and making intentional choices, even if they carried risks. A deep conversation unfolded about becoming nameless and the nature of trailblazing. The focus was on helping others and valuing connections over reaching distant stars. Each person represents their own world of possibilities, making every interaction meaningful on the journey. A revelation occurred about there never being a third person present. The discussion moved toward a final farewell performance, heading to a meaningful location for the conclusion of this chapter. At the Grand Theater, childhood memories were shared about mistaking a stellaron for the morning star. This location held significance as both a starting point and intended ending point, drawing parallels between life's beginnings and endings. A transformation was discussed involving the removal of a harmony halo and the creation of Mr. 1 Week through an unexpected accident. This split created two distinct possibilities of the same person, representing different life paths and choices. The final preparations began for a significant change. Personal growth was acknowledged, including becoming more accepting of unexpected situations and losing control. Fear of the unknown was balanced with appreciation for surprises and new experiences. The importance of personal experience in understanding life and death was emphasized. Accepting fate and embracing change became central themes, even if it meant facing uncomfortable transformations. A final goodbye to the planet of festivities marked the beginning of a new journey. The challenging process of self-tuning began, accompanied by various sounds and echoes of the past as transformation took place. A cryptic exchange begins with questions about volition and destiny, followed by dramatic metaphors about petals being swept away by time. The conversation has an existential tone, touching on themes of fate, peace, and the eternal cycle of life and death. Various metaphysical concepts are explored through poetic language. The dialogue shifts to discuss optimization, speed, and new beginnings. There are references to combat and journeys, with recurring mentions of noise and chaos. The conversation maintains an abstract quality while incorporating elements of action and movement. A significant farewell conversation takes place between Mr. Yang and another individual. They discuss their past interactions on Penacony and reflect on their shared experiences. The discussion reveals information about the Stellaron incident and its connection to the Oak family and the Harmony organization. The conversation becomes more personal as both parties acknowledge their mutual influence on each other. They discuss philosophical views about human nature and paradise building. A request is made to join the Astral Express for continued travels and learning experiences. The group welcomes a new companion aboard the Astral Express, though not as an official crew member. The newcomer expresses gratitude and acknowledges this arrangement may be temporary. The crew prepares for their next warp jump as they conclude their business on Penacony. The dialogue concludes with philosophical musings about genius, questioning, and the nature of magic and divinity. Emphasis is placed on the importance of asking questions rather than finding answers, suggesting that all mysteries in the universe can be understood through proper inquiry and investigation.